Hey everybody, I'm going to share with you my favorite Jean Michel Basquiat work of art. The, this artwork is entitled All Colored Cast Part 2. I want to call your attention to the painting. At the top of the painting, Jean Michel Basquiat has written Alexander the Great. All right. I also want to call your attention to uh, just an overview. What you see in this painting, you see a male figure, what looks like a male figure, um, and something that I really like. I mean, it's pretty much the reason why it's my favorite work of art by Basquiat is that he wrote the numbers 1, 0, and 9 on the painting. Next, I want to call your attention to the body parts that Jean-Michel Basquiat mentions. He wrote chest, liver, lungs, and paw. Okay? Lastly, I want to call your attention to the number 47. You can see 47 there, right? 47. Okay. All right, so now, why have I called your attention to these details in this work? Well, for starters, Alexander the Great, a Greek leader, all right? Um, well, it's because of Greece, really. Forget Alexander the Great. Because the mention of Alexander the Great references Greece, because he was a Greek leader. And what happened in Greece? All right, I'm going to read it. It says here, the event, okay, excuse me, they're already talking about the marathon. The event, the marathon, was born out of the legend of the Athenian courier Phidippides, who in 490 BC ran from the site of the Battle of Marathon to Athens with the message of Nike before promptly collapsing and dying. Interesting story, right? I said Nike the way I emphasized Nike because I wanted to mention that Nike means victory. So there we have a connection. We have Alexander the Great mentioned on Jean-Michel Basquiat's work of art. And we also have Nipsey Hussle, whose brand is the marathon, right? And we also have Victory, which Nike means victory. So, you know, Nipsey was all about Victory Lap, right? That's the name of his last album. So those are connections to Nipsey right here with that poem. I mentioned that this is a male figure. There's a male figure here, and you see the number 109 in the painting. I want to show you a picture of Nipsey, of Nipsey Hussle, and I want you to look at the number 109 in that picture. That's a pretty interesting connection, right? Coincidence that the painting and the picture kind of look similar. In fact, well, yeah, they're very similar. You have a male figure, you have the number 109 right there. But here's the thing. Jean-Michel Basquiat painted this work of art in 1982, and that was 3 years before Nipsey Hussle was even born. All right. Just some details. All right, now let's skip to the body parts mentioned by Jean-Michel Basquiat. He mentions chest, liver, lungs, and paw. All right. I think when he mentions paw, he's talking about a hand. We're going to gloss over that detail. All right. I don't have anything to say about paw. But here's what I have to say about chest, liver, and lungs. Listen to this. All right. This is taken from an article written last year. All right. And I quote it. It says here, Nipsey Hussle murder trial begins with opening statements as jury hears how the rapper was shot from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head and defense says he was killed in a crime of passion. Before I want to go on, before I continue, I want to call your attention to what they said. The defense says he was killed. Nipsey Hussle was killed in a crime of passion. Crime of passion, excuse me, sounds like the Passion of the Christ, or at least it reminds me of Passion of the Christ. Never mind that. Never mind. Let's just keep it moving, okay? All right. Let's see. So, chest, liver, and lungs are mentioned by Jean Michel Basquiat in the artwork. All right, check this out. First sentence of the article. All right, I just read the heading. All right, just that's what I just read from this article. The first line of this article reads, rapper Nipsey Hussle was executed in a hail of bullets that severed his spine, punctured his lungs 3 times, and pierced his liver. A Los Angeles court heard Wednesday. All right, so where are the lungs and liver located? In the chest cavity. Okay, so chest is right there. Where was Nipsey shot? 3 times in the lungs, and his liver was pierced. Okay, so there you have it, chest, liver, and lungs right there on the painting. Okay, this article also mentions here, it says rapper Nipsey Hussle was killed by 10, possibly 11 shots, prosecutors said in court Wednesday. I want to call your attention to the number 47 because 4 plus 7 equals 11. So there you have it. Rapper Nipsey Hussle was killed by 10, possibly 11 shots, the prosecutor said in court Wednesday. Okay? All right, so that's all I have for you. Finally, I'm bringing this to your attention because there are parallels between Jean-Michel Basquiat's painting and Nipsey's life, right? Marathon, the marathon clothing, the marathon continues, and Alexander the Great in the painting, right? I did mention that Nike means victory, so Nipsey did have a Puma, or he still has a Puma collaboration. So maybe it would have been better if he had collaborated with Nike with Victory Lap. They could have played on that, but forget about all of that, right? Because Puma is wildly interesting. I think I'll talk about Puma on a later video, but man, there's great significance related to the Passion of the Christ and Nipsey and Puma. It gets deep, but I'm not going to mention that. So anyway, there are some parallels between this painting and Nipsey's life. Yeah, that picture. I mean, now that I mentioned it, can you see it? You know? All right. That's all I have for you. Lastly, let's see. Nipsey was an Aksumite, a descendant of the Aksumite Empire. Aksum spanned modern-day Ethiopia, Eritrea, Yemen, and Saudi Arabia. That's how much area was covered by this empire, and that empire was led by the Queen of Sheba. Biblical reference right there, right? Queen of Sheba. I said Ethiopia, Eritrea, Yemen, and Saudi Arabia. Okay? Now, check this out. On March 31st, 2017, I visited Ethiopia for the first time. That's where I learned about Aksum and the Aksumite Empire and Queen of Sheba and all of this. On March 31st, 2019, Nipsey Hussle was murdered. Right? And now we have, today it's March 27th. This Friday will be March 31st, 2023. And Jean-Michel Basquiat's exhibit will open right here in Los Angeles at the Grand LA hotel location, whatever it is. Okay? I'm going to be there. So get your tickets and show up. So March 31st. All right? I think that's it. I'm going to end this video now. Thanks for watching. Peace and blessings.